folks, as I'm riding along here again. I'll post this up as a separate video, but I failed to mention I was going to give you an update on the Massey 5610 for all you owners and people interested, and just people that's following the story of the Massey 5610. I did do a service on the tractor. Didn't do a full service. Some items are not due for service just yet, but I did do a oil change, filter change. I pulled the air filter out, blew it out, cleaned it, inspected some things there, inspected all my air hoses involved with the air intake system. I blew out the radiators, cleaned them out, checked my coolant level, which again, some of you watched the issue there with it leaking when I had it early on, but it's still holding right where I left it when I put that new reservoir on, so that's still trouble-free. Checked my hydraulic fluid, which I check that quite often because there's a sight tube on the back, so it'll take me a brief second to check it. Grease the front axle, pivot points and whatnot there, and just kind of give the tractor a look over for any other issues, and that was pretty much it. It does hold, if I remember right, about 3.45 gallons of oil, motor oil, engine oil. I did use Shell Rotella T15W40. I actually had a guy wanted to argue with me when I was at Tractor Supply buying that oil that I was buying the wrong oil and should have been getting the Delo 400. We've used Delo 400 before, it's been years ago, but in the John Deere's, the 4040, the 4020, all the ones I've run since I've took over the farm, I've always ran Shell Rotella T, or Shell Rotella, then the Rotella T 15W40. I even run that stuff in a 366 gas engine on a grain truck. Chevy grain truck I had first year. It's good oil, but anyway, I don't know what the guy had against it, but he claimed it would cause problems. But oh well. That's what I put in it. The oil filter, I can't remember. It was only like maybe 15 bucks or so. It wasn't very expensive. Seems like the John Deere oil filters were 30, maybe pushing 40 bucks for the 6415 and the 6330s. Anywho, the oil change went smooth, other than one thing. It wasn't a big deal. The tractor does have two drain plugs on the oil pan or oil sump. It ain't really a pan. It's kind of a cast housing under there. So it's a big, thick, robust sump, if you can call it that. But what happens is the shaft for the four-wheel drive that's running through the front axle actually goes through that sump. So the sump has got a kind of a hump to it for that shaft to go through. So what happens is you have a place that holds oil on both sides of that shaft. So what they've done is put a drain plug on both sides. I'd rather it had been designed where it could only have one, but it wasn't a big deal. Just pull one, let it all drain out, and then put it back in, and then when you pull the other one, it ain't much, hardly comes out. The only thing I would advise to watch for, if you have one of these, is both of those drain plugs have like a brass, it almost look like copper, but it's probably was brass crush washer kind of deal. The first one I took out, I guess when I pulled that drain plug, if you know what I'm talking about here, you turn that drain plug out, and you kind of hold pressure against it till you hear those threads click. That's when you know you've got that last thread out. And to try to avoid getting it all over, you try to pull it out real quick, let it drain into your bucket or whatever you're using. In the process of doing that, that washer fell in my bucket, and I didn't notice it. And I actually put the drain plug back in. I thought it was odd there wasn't a little like carbon fiber washer or crush washer or something there. And so when I took the other drain plug out, I noticed it had that washer, and I thought, oh well, either this one was missing it or I dropped it in that bucket. So I drained the other side, cleaned it, put it back in there, went and drained my bucket out. Sure enough, that washer was laid in the bottom. So I took that plug back out and reinstalled that washer. So no harm done there. The oil felt okay to me. It was 402 hours on the clock when I did that. Well, you know, I thought, well, all right, it's right at 400 hours. I'll go ahead and do it. And the oil felt, it didn't really feel that bad. I will say this, I've mowed that hay and done a few things with it now since the oil change. The engine seems a little bit smoother to me. Maybe a hair quieter and maybe a point better on fuel economy than it was with the oil that was in it. Now, I don't know what was in it as far as weight, brand, type, anything. I do not know if it's what came from the factory. I don't know if it was changed out at the dealer since it had sat on the lot maybe a while. I don't know. But it seems to be responding better. And maybe it's in my head, but it seemed like just right off the bat after I put that Shell Rotella in there, the engine was a little quieter, a little smoother, maybe a hair more responsive, maybe a hair more fuel efficient, but oh well, that's whatever it's worth. Yeah, everything looked good. While I was under the tractor, I inspected everything, did not see a single bit of oil residue or leak anywhere. It was very dry and clean, so there is no leak still anywhere, and whatnot. So that all looks good. There is on the dash where your hour meter is. There's two hour meters. There's one that you can trip, kind of like a trip odometer, say. So I did reset that for using for the next service, so it's now counting up. So when I get to my next 400 hours or whenever I decide to do the service again, I'll go off that hour meter there. So all that looked good. Anyway, I just wanted to let y'all know how that went. I know one guy on Facebook was wanting me to actually do a video of the service as I did it, but I just kind of did it spur of the moment one evening when we couldn't do anything else, and I had the tractor there in the shed, and just wanted to get it done. I just get oil all over me and everything. I just didn't want to be dealing with a camera and whatnot, trying to film it. I mean, it is just a basic normal oil change, as would be with anything. So I just thought I'd sit here and talk about it and tell you how it went instead of actually doing footage of it. So anyway, that's that, and that is your update on the 5610. It is still doing good, running strong, and looks like it's gonna wrap up the year on a good note. So I'll update you again on it sometime later. See ya. Thanks for watching.